Good morning, angels. I hope everything is okay with all of you guys after the cyclone that came through a couple of days ago. I've been doing a lot of reflecting, I guess, this morning on what's come up for me after chatting with people, how people are feeling. And I actually wasn't going to record a podcast this morning because we're going away literally in a couple of hours. We're kind of packing up and going away like with our whole family for a week, which I can't wait for. My mum and dad have organised three beautiful big apartments up at Noosa for like me, my sisters, our kids. So it'll be a really nice big week together. And thankfully, everything seems to be okay up at Noosa, which is amazing. And I'm like, Mum, the timing couldn't have been better. If we had done it last week, it might have been a little bit of a different story. So I wasn't going to jump on, but it's so funny. Like Riley said to me, why are you recording like we're getting ready to go away? And I'm like, something come through this morning that I have to chat about. And she goes, so can't you just like plan an episode another time? And I said, it doesn't always work out like that. Like for me, I just like to jump on when I intuitively get a message that I want to share, and I have to just jump on and record. Everybody is so different, but that's what happens to me, which I was trying to explain to her and go, babe, I'm just intuitively guided. If it comes through, I just need to grab it in the moment and share what's coming up for me, because I know what's coming up for me is energetically what's coming up for a lot of people in the moment. So I really wanted to jump on and capture it before I forget it or it just leaves me. And so I probably haven't picked the best timing. I jumped on to record and it took me like 3 takes to start. And then I was like, I didn't light my incense. I've got these little rituals that I like to do beforehand. I like to call in my connection to source to speak through me like a conduit and channel through me what needs to come through to you guys. And then once I lit my incense and did that, I'm like, okay, now I feel really good to share. But I wanted to share that with you because I think it's important to understand just how powerful spirit is and just how powerful our connection to source is for our creativity, for guidance, for getting answers if we have questions to them, for making the right decisions, for knowing which path to take, is to tune inward and ask for that guidance, ask for to receive. And it's amazing the answers that can actually come through for you. So now I'm set, I'm ready to jump on and have a chat with you guys. But yeah, I hope everything went well for you guys with the with the cyclone. We were very, very blessed. I had so many messages from people, just beautiful messages and phone calls, and because we live right on the waterfront, so where our backyard literally goes straight out to the jetty, straight out to like this massive expanse of broad water. So like one of my friends, she rings me, one of my best friends, she rings and she's like, get out, go to your mum's. Like, why excuse me, why aren't you evacuating? I said, why are you telling me? Like, you're in Manly and it's coming straight for you guys. That was at the time when we were chatting. It's heading in your direction. And I said, I honestly feel okay. And Tom wanted to stay and just to protect the house. Look, if it was like category 4 safety of your life was concerned, we would get out definitely, but I didn't feel that. I definitely didn't feel that. And we were very, very, very blessed. I spoke to you in my last episode. I found an eagle feather on my walk the day that the cyclone was coming through, and we've got this huge big gum tree out the front, and I went and I planted the eagle feather down in front of right at the base of the gum tree. I buried it as deep as I could, but it was still like half out, and I'm just like, please protect this tree, keep this beautiful big tree safe, protect our home. And then I expanded my energy to, like protect our family, protect our loved ones. And I was sitting there expanding my energy to expand to say, like protect our community. And I visualized like this dome of golden white light around our community. And I really feel that we were so blessed, and everybody is in a different situation, and my heart goes out to anybody that was severely affected by the cyclone. I know where we are locally, we were pretty okay, but there are some other parts, like we got flooded in. We couldn't leave the I couldn't leave our community for a couple of days. The roads were cut off, but the water never broke the banks. Our house was safe. I was worried that there might have been a bit of a high tide come up, but it wasn't a full moon. It wasn't a new moon. So the tide never come up on the bank a little bit, but it never broke and kind of come up on our property. We had little things that we had to deal with. Like everybody did, people were dealing with things like power, maybe damage to certain things on their property. Some people lost power for a really long time. I know what are we now, like about a few days, we're sitting, it's Thursday, the cyclone come through last weekend. There's still people without power, which I know would be such an inconvenience. But we're safe, right? Like, I didn't hear of any deaths like around us. I didn't hear of any things like that happen, and that's the main thing, right? That everybody is safe and that everybody is okay. But we had so many messages of people, because where we located, right on the water. It's a smaller community. People like, get out, and I'm like, no, I honestly feel that it will be okay. And our beautiful little community we were so blessed. Roads in our community didn't go under. We had sandbagging and things like that just as a precaution, but they weren't really, it wasn't really fully needed. And we have got this older home. I don't even know what year it was built, but we've got an older home that we're renovating. And when we bought this house, a friend of ours he's in his 50s, he's a builder, a South African builder, amazing man. And he looked at this house and he goes, they don't make houses like this anymore. And I would jump on it. And I felt so safe in here. Like there was no rattles, there was no like that wind. Our big concern was the wind, because it comes straight off the southeasterly, straight off the water and blows straight through. So I was concerned of that big gum tree possibly getting not so much blown over, but big branches coming off it, landing on our deck, or smashing our beautiful new glass bifold doors, or this big gas strut window that we've got that cost me a fortune. And I'm like praying that everything was okay, that nothing come through the glass, and it didn't. We lost a great big branch, but it just went into the neighbor's garden, and so everything was okay. The winds changed direction. At one stage it was coming through the house this way. We had minor things happen, Leah, we got a little bit of water through underneath. When the wind changed this way, that's when I definitely got a bit nervous, and I prayed for like divine protection. But if I was to sit here and tell you I wasn't worried, no, that would be a lie. I was definitely concerned with a few things leading up to it. And I know the media had a big part to play in that. I was like checking social media all the time, checking the news, and I would look at it and I would be like, holy shit, Tom, like maybe we should board up the house. We should. And he's like, Lise, calm down. And because I got consumed by the fear of the media, and I know that they have to, look, scary news sells, bad news sells, 100%, and that's what keeps people watching. You have to be alert, you have to be informed, you have to take precautions to protect your home as best as you can, but also you don't want to buy into that fear. And fear, it's like it spreads, like it just spreads and goes from one person to the next. I'd feel okay, then I'd get a phone call or a message and I'd be like, oh my gosh, should we evacuate? Should we? And then my mind would spiral for a bit, and I'm like, no, bring it back to that energy of you are safe, you are protected, whatever happens, just trust with whatever happens is meant to be. Mother Nature is far bigger than you, and whatever unfolds is meant to happen. You can't change what happens with powerful forces of Mother Nature. So I was kind of jumping between these energies of I'm okay, I trust, to oh my gosh, I'm sitting in the fear, and I kind of would ricochet back and forward. But when the actual event started to happen, I honestly started to feel so much calmer. Even though the winds were freaking me out at certain stages, but I went to bed, I slept through. Like my poor husband, he was up, he dug a trench and put a submersible pump in, and he was up every like half hour just pumping the water away from the house, just in case, because we do get some water that lies around. So I know everybody was dealing with stuff, like we had minor damage, like a lot of people did as well. I'm not going to go into any of that, but overall we were safe. And I went down and I had a look down at the tree when we were out there with the neighbors, and I went down to the tree, and my eagle feather was still sitting buried in the ground in front of the tree. It was like battered, it was like all stringy, but it was still there, held strong. And I just literally just said, thank you. Like, thank you for keeping us safe. Thank you for keeping my family safe. Thank you for keeping our community safe. Thank you for keeping my loved ones safe. Thank you for keeping all of you safe. And I just sat there with prayers of gratitude and appreciation. And it's funny, like the couple of days after, like we got hammered for a few days, and the water out here, I was looking out our pontoon. We got a pontoon and then like a dry dock with our jet skis and stuff on it. It was, man, it was like going up and down. I could see some of the neighbors' boats getting a flogging, and I kind of had these visions of, oh no, we're going to wake up and the pontoon or the dry dock's going to be floating off somewhere. But thankfully, all that was okay. Yeah, we had minor things, very minor things, but a few things happened. The whole ski filled up with water because my son left the bunks in. Simple things like that, which like, okay, we have to deal with a few things, but I know all of you did as well, you know, so we're not immune to it. But overall, I was so grateful that we were safe and that everybody was okay, which was the main thing. And then it was so eerie, like the day after everything started settling. It was like the second day we got hammered with stronger winds rather than the first day, so that was a bit hairy that day. And then it was like the day after everything settled, it was like a glass lake out there, like just this eerie feeling of just this calm after the storm. You get that calm before the storm, and then after, it was like Mother Nature just settled everything down. Day after that, it was this beautiful big sunrise out there. It was just like everything was kind of back to normal, and you're looking around, there was like debris and trees and stuff everywhere, and you're like, what just happened? You wouldn't even know that this just happened based on what I could see outside being so calm and so still. And that's the force of Mother Nature. There's definitely a lot of things that are out of our control, and all we can do is hold the faith. All we can do is ask for protection. All we can control is the way we react, you know. Like I've seen people get angry on forums, you know, angry about power, angry, understandably, like definitely understandably, but I think, you know, all we can control is the way we react. And what I noticed in our community, the best thing to come out of this, I think, was people, that connection to community. I was seeing all over the forums people offering, you know, if you need power, shower, charge your devices, heat up your baby's bottles, whatever, we've got power. And just so much shivers just thinking about it. So much beautiful community support. People offering, you know, hey, I'm an electrician, I've got a chainsaw, I've got a generator, does anybody need it? And we have beautiful little community where we are in the next suburb down. Beautiful people just offering so much support, people messaging saying, hey, I can't get hold of my parents, because people had no internet and no power, and then just all these messages of people, I'll go around, check in on them for you, you know. It was really amazing. And we had so many messages from even just our neighbors. We are blessed with the most incredible neighbors on either side. The next morning, because we had like a really late night and couldn't sleep, and Tom was pumping away all the water every half hour or something. And so then when everything kind of had eased a little bit in the morning, we slept in, like we had this big sleep. I had my daughter and the dogs, everyone in our room. And then we had this big sleep in until like 10 o'clock. And I woke up and there's all these messages and missed phone calls from the neighbors. Hey, are you okay? Everything okay? Your house okay? And neighbors checking in the night before. And I said to Tom, it is so beautiful to be in one of those communities again where it's a smaller, tight-knit community. Like, yeah, it has its pros and cons with things like that, but overall it's so lovely to see people looking out for one another. It's so lovely to see that human connection back again, where you really get to know your neighbors. And I really felt blessed that we were just in such a beautiful community, and seeing the gestures of support, of help and love and connection across everywhere on social media was amazing. And I think that was such a beautiful blessing to come out of what was quite a scary time for a lot of people. And this morning, I jumped into, it's kind of been the first morning I've really dove into a lot of my, I guess like my normal spiritual practices. Because we've got a lot of furniture back out on the deck, the sun's coming up, and I sat out there and I drew some cards this morning, and I did an activation. I did like a meditation slash activation. And what I wanted to share with you was I was thinking about what has come up for me post cyclone. Like, where is my heart and soul going? Where is my mind going? What am I thinking I need to shift or change? And before I go into that, I downloaded the other day, the morning of the cyclone, before it was starting, like the news was kind of saying it's coming like in the next 24 hours. I was in my spiritual practice, and I had just an urge, just pull out your phone notes. So whatever you want to call it, whether you want to call it like channeling divine guidance, a transmission, a download, I pulled out my phone notes, and what happens, I just get my phone and I just start typing. And I type and type and type, like I can't stop, I can't control the message, the thoughts, the guidance that's coming through, and I just write it out as fast as I can. So I kind of just printed it off to share with you this morning, because I'm recording on my phone, so I can't read off my phone. So I printed it off, and so it's quite a little, quite a decent amount of messaging come through, and I literally was probably 60 seconds. I'm just typing for 60 seconds. I don't second guess. I just write it all out. And that's where journaling is powerful. Sometimes I write with my pen and in a journal, but sometimes I pull out my phone notes because I can type quicker than I can write. And I just download everything that's coming through. I don't judge it. I don't second guess it. And the reason I'm telling you this is it's amazing how much insight you can get from journaling. If you get that sudden urge of, you can just feel a message coming through, an answer coming through, pull out your phone notes, pull out your pen. Doesn't matter what you write it on, just get it out of your head, out of your heart, and on paper, and then read it back afterwards. And so I want to share with you what I wrote down. So at the time of this coming through, I was nervous about what was coming, like definitely nervous about like your tree, your property, your house, like your loved ones, your cars, like all the things that everybody was nervous about. I absolutely was too. And I wrote down at the top, transmission from source. And it says, you are loved, my child. You are safe. You are protected. Even in the event of what can seemingly appear turbulent, uncertain, and out of your control, trust that there's so much in your control. You are divinely guided. Trust in prayer. Trust in meditation. Trust in asking for protection. Trust you are safe and supported. Trust that all is well. Trust in the unfolding. No harm will come to you and your home and your community. You are surrounded by a dome of light. Your children and pets are safe. Your family is safe. This will test your faith. Hold the faith. My gosh, it tested my faith, absolutely. This will feel uneasy and unsettling. Yes, it did, but only for a short time. The winds of change will soften, but they are needed in this transition to a new earth. You're a beacon of light and hope for others. Share the message of great spirit. Mother Nature is unsettled, unhappy with human materialism and not seeing her worth. Sorry, my dog's drinking in the background. She's a powerful source of abundance for humanity, and it's time for people to see her beauty and value that they often overlook, to see her power, her magnificence, and learn to work in harmony with her. A little shake-up is required for people to be reminded of what's truly important, to return to the essence of universal love and community and connection, which I definitely saw. Don't listen to the fear, the media. Be the change and the beacon of hope and light for your community. Use the power of faith and love over fear. Nothing in life is ever certain. That's part of having a human experience. But the more humans are connected with their heart and soul and love for Mother Earth and love for one another, the more order and the heart of the earth will be restored. All is well. You are safe and protected and loved. Help others to feel the same. So much love for you all. And now I read it back and I was like, thank you. Even at the time of writing, it really put my mind at ease. It really made me feel a lot more safe, a lot more protected, and I guess a little understanding of what's happening, because sometimes these weather events, and this is what I want to talk to you about this morning, sometimes these weather events, like some of these bigger things, they are out of our control. Like they are much bigger than us, even in what can sometimes feel like despair, what can sometimes feel like things can happen to people, to their homes, to their loved ones. There is always a bigger message sometimes that we don't understand, that our mind can't understand, but our heart and soul needs, and that our spirit is here in this lifetime to learn. So I would look back at the lessons and I think, what lessons have I learned out of this this event, I've definitely learnt the lessons of holding the faith, of using my spiritual practices to help calm me, the power of breath. Every time I would feel a bit nervous or get stuck in that energy of the media's hyping things up, the media's putting fear in people, or I'd getting messages of evacuate, get out now, I would just go, no, I'm okay. And I would breathe. So just learning to trust, that was what coming through for me, what I need in the moment, how it can calm my nervous system, how it can calm my energy. And there were still times throughout that event, Tom's like, Lise, calm down. and Riley go, Mum, you're freaking me out. I definitely had these waves of up and down, but I just kept coming back to your spiritual practice. So things aren't going to be perfect all the time. It doesn't mean you're never going to have fear. It doesn't mean that you're never going to have doubts in your mind or that you're going to freak out. You are, but what tools can you use to bring you back into that place of peace and that place of calm? And also, when the winds, like the winds were howling through, for me, the winds kind of represent the winds of change. That song by Scorpion pops into my head, that the winds of change. And maybe go and listen to that. Sometimes I will just put that on if it's a real big stormy event, and I will sit and I will think about what needs to change. And what come up for me this morning, I pulled a few of these cards, okay? So I pulled 5 cards. 2 of the cards that I pulled out of my Earth Warrior deck were all around like blessings of the Supreme Being, blessings of hopeful heart from the White Buffalo Woman. And they were all about spirit, how spirit is with you. Get back into your heart. And I just want to read out this tiny little paragraph here. And it says, you are one of the souls with a purpose and a heart big enough to be concerned about the spiritual vitality of the many. True spiritual purpose like this cannot be condensed into a job. It is a way of being. When you recognize that the Great One is in all things, has power beyond what the intellect can understand, and is generous and empowering of the purpose of all souls, then you'll be ready to express and grow your mana, your holy power in the world. There is a purpose for which you were born. Time and events shall converge to bring you to all that you need for fulfillment of your purpose. And what I took out of that, there's a lot of things I took out of that, but one thing I took out of that was, I guess I've been, like many of you, we can hold ourselves back. We can doubt on ourselves. We can be afraid to put our real selves out there. And what I really sat with this morning was what I do behind closed doors, really put that out there in the public, put that out there for people. The energy that you embody behind closed doors, embody that energy everywhere you go. And there's a reason I want to tell you this, is because there's times over the last couple of years that I know all the spiritual woo that I do. I know all of the rituals that I'm slowly just, unfolding to you across the episodes that I share with you on this podcast. There's a reason I'm drip feeding it all out to help you understand the things that you can do, the tools that you can use at home, but also to help you understand that to get back to the essence of being more spiritual, to get back to the essence of following your heart and soul, to get back to the essence of living in your authenticity, to get back to the essence of not being afraid to put your real self out there. And it was a big reminder for me for moving forward to the energy that I embody at home behind closed doors, embody that energy everywhere I go, embody that energy all, because this line that I read here, your spiritual purpose like this cannot be condensed into a job. And what I mean by that, or what come up for me, was all of this spiritual, the way that you are behind closed doors, put it out there into the world. Like, let the world see the real you, because that's where your power lies, my friends, is actually showing up unapologetically, showing up authentically. In everything you do, we can wear these masks of these roles of our job, of our title, of money, of material things, of how we present to the world, of how we have to present that everything is all perfect in the world, present this materialism, present, what we think people want us to be, present the way that we need to be in order to hold our job, or in order for people to think that we're not weird. But what I want you to really get back to, and what has really evolved for me after seeing this winds of change, seeing this cyclone come through, is What's the most important thing? People, love, community, behind all the stuff, behind all the material things. Yes, we love them. Yes, they're important. Yes, they give us a nice, human experience. But the root of what's really important is people, is relationships, is love, is our health, is our wellness, is that we are all coming together after this event, supporting one another, loving on one another, helping one another. That's what's really, really important. And I want us to really put our true selves out there into the world, how we are behind closed doors, our quirks and all, put it out there for the world to see, and the right people will align for you. So, with these winds of change, like out with the old, out with the mask, out with the fear, out with the doubt, out with the uncertainty, out with that feeling of we're not good enough, we're not worthy enough, and just put your real self out there to be seen. Put your real self out there in everything that you do and embrace all of who you are. That was something that really, really come up for me over the last 24 hours as I've been sitting with what's been happening throughout this cyclone period. I really felt like this stirring. There's this, and it's a full moon at the moment too. It's an eclipse, and I really have felt this stirring. Like, just how can I fully embrace all that I am behind closed doors and just put her out into the world. And that is me. That is what you get. If you like me, great. If you don't, you're not my person. And that's okay. And being okay with that, and really getting back to your heart and soul and the essence of who you are, because that's when the right jobs will line up. That's when the right relationships will line up. That's when more abundance will line up for you. That's when all the things that your desires, your innermost desires, will start to unfold. And I've seen from what I've been reading, from what I've been feeling, like this jump in timelines, like this quantum leap, where people are sick of the bullshit, people are sick of the mask, people are sick of trying to compete, fit in, keep up, and just want to be themselves. So allow yourselves, going out of this cyclone, going out of this big stir up, this big change, allow yourself to just really truly be seen, heard, and embrace the beautiful soul that you are. Quirks and all is something that has really, really come up for me. I also pulled these other cards. All these cards, they were all about the heart. All about the heart and about following your path, following your passion, following your purpose, and shifts, all about big shifts. And that has been a big thing that has come up for a lot of people. So I want to ask you to maybe jot these questions down and maybe sit with what comes up for you is, what have I learned coming out of this cyclone? What do I feel that is like coming up to the surface that I need to change, that I need to let go of? What has these winds of change maybe stirred up in me? Maybe it's feeling of frustration or uncertainty, or this feeling of unsettling. Ask yourself, where are these feelings coming from? Is it, it could relate to your career, it could relate to relationships, it could relate to yourself, how you're presenting to the world, it could relate to your dynamics in your family, it can relate to so many different things, your purpose, your passion. What has come up for me with this stirring? Am I feeling something stirring? Am I feeling that I need to make some changes? And just let your pen pour out onto your journal, or just go for a mindful walk, or sit out in nature. Nature is such a powerful, powerful force. And just sit out there and ask yourself the question, what needs to change? What has this winds of change stirred up in me? What am I sick of feeling? What changes do I need to make? How can I show up more authentically? And just sit and see what comes up for you. And maybe it has brought you back to this sense of community. Maybe it has brought you back to this sense of what is really important in your life. Maybe you have got wrapped up in things, as we all do. I have, absolutely. Maybe we have got wrapped up in certain things that are not really truly valuable to us, or that are not really in alignment with us, that we need to get rid of, or we need to let go of, and we need to release to make way for the new. I feel this real big cleansing energy. Like even when I was out there cleaning up, like the water from the rain can be so cleansing and so detoxifying. And I just felt this real energy of new beginnings. And that was in the card that I pulled as well, was all about this new earth, was about new beginnings, and what needs to unfold for you, what needs to change for you, what do you need to open up to bring into your world. So I know things, if you sit and ask the question, like you get good answers from asking good questions. If you actually sit and ask the question and reflect on what I'm sharing with you, something will come up for you that you need to change, or you know you need to shift, or you know that is a little bit unsettling. So just see what happens. And I highly recommend get out in nature and do this, because nature is such a powerful force. I was sitting out on my deck this morning. I always do my spiritual practices out under the morning sun. It's just what I really enjoy doing, and hearing the nature come alive. I've always done that in my old house as well. Get out for my morning walk or sit out on my back deck. You can probably hear the birds in the background now. And as I was sitting reflecting on all of this morning, this dragonfly come under my roof and was just hovering around. It felt like ages, probably like 30, 60 seconds it was hanging around. And I just said thank you, because it's amazing how nature plays with you. The more you get spiritually connected, the more you open yourself up to presence, the more you open yourself up to sitting in the now, you start to see more signs, you start to see more synchronicities. And when I see something like that, like this little dragonfly was hovering around and buzzing around me, and I thought, what was I thinking about? Like when that dragonfly flew in, what was I thinking about? And I was thinking about that, what I just shared with you was about whatever I do behind closed doors, the energy I embody behind closed doors is the real me. Put her out there in the world unapologetically and encourage other people to do the same. That's kind of what come up for me this morning when that dragonfly was hovering around. So yeah, get out in nature, ask yourself those questions. What can I learn from the cyclone, or the events that come through? And maybe it could be compassion for other people. I saw a lot of things on social media where people were, no disrespect, but I saw a lot of things on social media, people like, oh, we're sitting at home for nothing, it's not even raining, we were, this kind of ticked me off a little bit, but I'll share it. I had to sit with that too. We got the kids cooped up for nothing. It was like a non-event. And I thought to myself, be grateful it was a non-event. There were a lot of people that definitely wore the brunt of it, depending on where you lived. Yes, I was grateful for the media keeping us in the loop. Didn't want to get stuck in the fear, but I was still grateful that we were alerted to this, or it could have caught a lot of people unexpectedly. So, be grateful if you were one of the ones that had literally nothing happened to you. Like, that is just you're so blessed, and we're blessed. Like, we only had minor things, but we're blessed. And there are a lot of people that have compassion in your heart and understanding in your heart, because there was a lot of people, especially down northern New South Wales, that really got some severe flooding through their homes, a lot of damage, and a lot of weren't as fortunate. And send love to those people. What we can do, we can offer our support, we can send love, we can send just this energy of prayers for them, and holding that energy in our heart of love for them. And what can you do for other people in times like this? What can you do for your community? And be blessed if you were one of the ones that literally was stuck at home, cooped up with your kids, and it was a bit of a non-event, because not everybody was so fortunate. And whatever happened, we can't control. We're all in different situations, and I understand and appreciate everybody's situation is different, and everybody had things that happen to them. And I just want to send you all so much love, and send you so much light and so much strength and prayers that everything is okay. But I really want you to sit with, what can you learn coming out of this event? What has it stirred up in you? What has it shaken up in you? And embracing the winds of change, my friends, because change and evolution is what we are here for. Growth and evolution over a lifetime is one of my mantras, is one of my mottos that I've adopted. Because if you stay the same and you stay stagnant, you will sit there and whinge that nothing is ever changing for you, or you're not getting what you want. Use this energy of change, use this energy to go, okay, what can I do moving forward? What can I get rid of? What can I let go of? What do I actually want to do? How can I show up in the world? And use that energy of change to make some amazing shifts for you. One of the cards that I pulled this morning, this card here in particular, was about, you'll see like the softness of the butterflies, and then the structures of the spheres and the squares, which that card represented the softness of energy, of spirit, of flow, but also of discipline, and also of taking action. And there's a lot of things that come up for me this morning that I know I've been complacent with, that I know I need to get a lot more focus and a lot more determination and a lot more strength and and just take a lot more aligned actions on things that I've been sitting with for a little bit of time. That time has come for me. So what has come for you, my friends? So anyway, I'm going to wrap that up there. Sending you so much light, sending you so much love and so much strength and prayers for everybody that has been affected by this in your own unique way. And yeah, that's all I have to say. I have to pack. I have to go and get organized and pack for our next few days away with my family. And this could not have been more divinely timed, just spending time with my parents, my sisters, my brothers-in-laws, my nieces and nephews, and just clock off from everything and just spend time with loved ones, because that's the most important things in life, my friends, is those around us. So have a beautiful rest of your day, and I will, by the time you hear this, I'll be on holidays, and I will see you back in the studio or back on here soon. So much love to you all. Bye.